Hey everybody, it is that time again. I'm going to do one of my TTM questionnaire wrap-up videos. Sorry it's taking me so long to get these out. I actually have another stack of cards to go through. It just takes a little bit to edit it all together, and then the holidays and everything else. But I do have one ready to go, and I hope you enjoy it. Baseball players, football players, basketball players, Olympians, race car drivers, golfers, and even a famous chicken. So I hope you enjoy the Q&As and stick around to the end. I asked Mike Ramsey, do you have a favorite play or memory from the 82 World Series? He said, Game 7, playing in that game and scoring the game-winning run. Here it is.
Infield back. Line into right field. Ramsey scores. It's 4-3 St. Louis.
I asked Donnie Hammond, who has been your favorite caddy? He said, Carl Jackson. I also asked, what was your favorite course on tour? And he said, Riviera. Here's Carl. Here's the Riviera. Darrell Waltrip comes from a family of racers. I asked, did you ever take Michael snipe hunting? He said, many times. I also asked, what is your favorite thing to do outside of racing? He just said, hang with friends. I also asked, what was your first car? And he said, a 34 Ford Coupe. Here's the little brother, Michael, and a sweet 34 Coupe. Joy Fawcett was an amazing soccer player. I asked, who was the most talented player with whom she played? She said, tough question. Everyone brought something special to the team, and we couldn't have won without everyone. That is why I picked soccer. Loved my team family. I asked Casey Mears, who encouraged you to pursue racing as a career? Mom and Dad. And what was your first job and at what age? Worked in a detail shop at age 12. I asked Jay Haas, where is the most beautiful course that you've played? And he said, Pebble Beach. And I asked, did you have a favorite course on tour? And he said, Harbor Town. Here's Pebble Beach, and here's Harbor Town. One of my favorite coaches of all time, I asked Richie Adubato, who impressed you most on the 84 and 86 Celtics team? He said Bird, Parrish, and McHale. And I also asked, was there a trade or draft pick that you felt really made your team better? And he said Bill Walton. Here's Bird, Parrish, and McHale, and the great Bill Walton. I asked Jeff Gossett, what was your favorite sport to play as a kid? He said, all sports. I swam, baseball, football, and basketball. What was your first job? He said, ice cream shop when I was 14. And what did you want to be when you grew up? A pro athlete. I asked Don Hasselback, what was your first car? He said a Corvair, but he didn't tell me what year. And I asked if he had his favorite sports movie. Nope. So I'm going to assign him Field of Dreams because it's mine. Here's a sweet 64 Chevy Corvair. Brian Milner's interesting. He was drafted and went right into the majors at age 18. He only got to play 2 games as a catcher for the Blue Jays. He's the youngest to ever play for the Jays. What's interesting is that his son also played, but did a longer stint in college before he went up to the majors. And so my question was, if you had to do it again, would you have played college ball first? And he said, no, I would do the same because I am in a great spot in my life, and my early years helped me forge who I am today. Great answer. I also asked, because he was so young, how did the team treat you when you joined the show at such a young age? He said, overall, very well. They left me a baby bottle with beer in it after my first ML game. Pretty funny. I'm not going to pronounce this name right, but Ted Giannoulias, who is the San Diego Chicken, has impeccable handwriting, first off. But I sent him an awesome card, and he signed it and responded with his questions. I asked, what was the hottest game that you ever worked? And he said, a Texas Rangers game in the late 1990s. It was 102 at night to start. I believe it. And what do you do during rain delays? He said, first, I goof around on the slippery tarps, then go sign autographs for fans and pose for photos. I asked William Andrews, who was your favorite lineman to run behind? And he said, R.C. Thelman. Here's a picture of R.C. It's a big boy. I asked Kenny Bernstein, what was your dream car when you were little? He said, any hot rod. I asked Phil Barkdahl, what was your first car? He said, a Chevy. But he didn't tell me what it was, just that it's a Chevy. And that he still has Jeff Gordon's first car. How cool is that? I asked him what was his first job. He said an auctioneer and Turk pointing, which is masonry. And he worked for John Deere. Very cool. Here's Jeff.
I asked professional golfer Nolan Hankey, where was your favorite place to play on tour? To which he responded, Cypress Point. I also asked, who was the funniest golfer with whom you've been paired? And he said, John McGinnis. The letter I wrote to him was on Star Wars letterhead, and on the back of my index card, he wrote, May the Force be with you. It's pretty fun. Here's Cypress Point. And here's funny guy John McGinnis. Raul Alegre is an NFL punter and currently a broadcaster. And I asked, what do you enjoy most about broadcasting? And he said, preparing for the games. I also asked, unlike baseball and football, where a large number of athletes speak Spanish, does being bilingual help you with your interviews in the NFL? To which he responded, not much. Dave Corzine is an NBA center. I asked him, of all the cities in which you played in, which city did you enjoy living in the most? And he said, San Antonio. He must like the food. I also asked, who was your favorite teammate to sit next to when traveling to away games? And he said, Mark Olberding. Here's Mark. David Brown is amazing. He's an Olympic sprinter and is recognized as the world's fastest completely blind runner. He suffered from Kawasaki disease when he was very young and was completely blind by the age of 13. I asked him, who encouraged you to pursue track and field professionally? And he said his family, and he signed the index card. It's very, very cool. Brad Faxon is a professional golfer. So I asked him, what was your favorite course on tour? And he said Pebble Beach. It's a pretty popular answer. I also asked, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? And he said a lot of different things. Glad it was golf. Here's Pebble. Here is NBA power forward Ed Neely. I asked him, which one of your teammates was the funniest? And he said, John Paxson and Dom Busey. I also asked, did you have any game day superstitions? And he said, just the same routine, but he didn't specify. Here's John. And here's Don. Stephon Page is from Louisiana. He was an NFL wide receiver for the Chiefs and the Vikings. I asked him, do you have a favorite dish that is unique to Louisiana or Cajun? And he said, yes, gumbo. And I agree. Rocky Childress is an MLB pitcher. I asked him, what was your first job and how old were you? And he said he was a dishwasher at 15. So was I, ironically. I also asked, who was your favorite teammate to sit next to on road trips? And he said Larry Anderson. Here's Larry. John Mahaffey is a professional golfer. I asked him, where is your favorite place to play on tour? And he said Pebble Beach. I also asked, what was your least used club that stays in your bag? And he said a 2-iron. Here's Pebble. Preston Hanna's an MLB pitcher, and I asked him, what was your favorite thing to do when traveling for away games? And he said play cards. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will continue to do these as long as you continue to enjoy them. Just curious, which Q&A did you enjoy the most? I thought the famous chicken was pretty funny. It's awesome, always awesome to have Olympians. And I enjoy the Q&A part of the TTMing aspect a whole lot. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. And everybody has a great day. Thanks again for stopping by and spending some time with me today. Bye, y'all.